Lucas Owen woke up hard against redstone. His back hurt. His head hurt worse. The sky above him was not blue or white like Earth. It was gray-purple, twisted with clouds that moved wrong, like they were alive. The smell hit him next, sharp and burning in his nose, making his eyes water. He pushed himself up and checked his body. Arms were okay. Legs worked. His left shoulder had a bruise already forming from where the drop pod smashed into the ground. That was bad. Real bad. The medical team said the planet would not be kind. They had not lied. The pod lay behind him, split open like a dead animal. Lucas had maybe 3 hours before the atmospheric processors inside it failed completely. After that, they were just dead weight. He crawled to the pod and pulled out his pack. Water, medical supplies, a knife, a wrench, a small food container with maybe 2 weeks of meals if he was careful. And the vlog camera, that was his real job. Record everything. Send back proof that humans could survive what no one else could. Prove the Galactic Council wrong about humanity being soft and weak. Lucas held the camera up. The lens was cracked but still working. He pressed the record button and looked directly at the lens. He was 19 years old. His face was dirty already, but his voice was steady. This is Cadet Lucas Owen, United Humans Colonial Academy. I am on Kurth 7. I am alive. I am going to stay that way. This is day 1. He stopped recording. No need to waste power on long messages yet. Just the facts. Proof that he existed, that he was fighting, that humans could do what seemed impossible. The sun started to set. Lucas had no idea when actual night would come on this planet. The gravity felt heavier than Earth, maybe 5%. Not enough to break him, but enough to make everything harder. Every step would cost more energy. Every breath would take more work. He found a ridge of rock near the pod crash site. High ground was always better. He could see anything coming from a distance. He pulled off his jacket and wrapped it around his face like a mask. The air burned his exposed skin. Not just cold, burning, like acid but slower. Lucas built a small shelter from the pod's exterior panels. Nothing fancy, just a place to block the worst of the wind. He drank half his water and ate 1 meal pack. The food tasted like plastic and salt. Everything tasted like plastic and salt in the academy too, so at least that part was familiar. The night came fast and the cold came faster. Lucas huddled inside his shelter and watched the sky. Strange lights moved across it. Some were probably satellites or ships. Some might have been something else. Kurth 7 was dead, the council had said. No life survived there. The old civilization that lived here had killed themselves and everything else in a war 300 years ago. Lucas tried to sleep. He did not sleep by morning. His shoulder was swollen double its normal size. The pain was sharp and bright whenever he moved. Dislocated, maybe. Or just bad bruised. There was no doctor here to tell him. There was nobody here at all except Lucas. He drank more water and moved to shelter rocks around. Better to keep busy than to think about how alone he was. How far from home. How the council had sent him here to die, probably, just to see how fast humans would break. The sound came at midday. A roar that was not quite a roar. Lower, deeper, like something was calling through the stone itself. Lucas grabbed the camera and the knife. He climbed the ridge and looked out. The creature was maybe 200 meters away. 4 legs. Body was long, maybe 6 meters from snout to tail. The scales caught the gray light and threw it back in pieces, like crystal or diamonds. The color was deep blue, almost black, with edges that glowed amber. Those eyes were too smart for something so big. Too smart and too hungry. The creature was limping. It dragged its back left leg. Even from far away, Lucas could see something was wrong with the right side of its body. The scales, they were cracked and leaking something dark. Poison burn. Atmospheric poison. The creature had breathed the same air Lucas was breathing, and it was killing it. Lucas should have hidden. Should have climbed higher and waited for the thing to pass. Every piece of academy training said a human could not fight something this big. A human had no teeth, no claws, no armor. But Lucas was thinking about what the council said about humans. That they were weak. That they broke easy. That they gave up. He grabbed his water container and his jacket and climbed down from the ridge. The creature saw him. It stopped moving. The amber eyes focused on Lucas. Lucas felt very small, very meat-like. But he did not run. He walked toward the creature slow and steady. Not attacking, not threatening, just moving forward. The creature made a sound like grinding stone. Warning sound. Back off sound. Lucas stopped 10 meters away. He was close enough to see the poison burns more clearly now. The scales were melting into the flesh beneath, eating holes. The creature's breathing was heavy and wrong. It was dying. Lucas took off his jacket. He soaked it with water. Then he threw it at the creature. The beast jumped back. But it smelled the water. It smelled something that was not the burning air. It made another sound, smaller this time. Confused sound. Lucas soaked the wrapping again. Threw it again. This time, the creature did not jump. It stayed still. Lucas walked forward, slowly, and pressed a wet jacket against the worst of the burns. The creature could kill him. One swipe of its leg could split him in half. But it did not. It stood there and let the human touch it. Let the human try to wash away the poison that was destroying it. Lucas worked through the afternoon. He used all his extra water and ripped up his extra clothes. The creature just stood there, breathing hard, bleeding dark blood into the red stone. By the time the sun started to set, the worst of the poison burns were cleaned. They would not heal fast. Might not heal at all. But the creature was not dying right now. That was something. Lucas sat down in the dirt next to the massive beast. His shoulder screamed with pain. He was exhausted. But he was alive. And he was not alone anymore. The creature made a low sound. Not angry. Not hungry. Just a sound like acknowledgement. Like something between two beings who had decided not to kill each other. Lucas pulled out the vlog camera. The creature's amber eyes watched him. "Day 1, Lucas said into the camera. "I met someone. Things are getting interesting." The creature closed its eyes and rested. Lucas woke to the creature licking its injured leg. Not the worst thing. Not the best thing. The beast was still alive, which was better than yesterday. Lucas sat up and checked his shoulder. The swelling had gone down maybe 20%. Not good, but not worse. He called the creature Kev. Did not really know why. The name just fit. Kev stood up when Lucas moved, watching him careful. No hostility. No hunting look. Just two beings that had made an agreement to not kill each other, standing in the red dust of a dead world. "We need to find shelter," Lucas said out loud. Kev tilted his head. The creature did not understand words, but it understood tone. It understood that Lucas was not afraid. That was important. Lucas pointed toward the distant ruins. From the ridge, he had seen old buildings maybe 5 kilometers away. Broken stone structures that had been part of something once. Civilization, architecture, proof that something other than poison and rock had existed on Kareth 7. Kev followed. The creature moved slow because of its injured leg, but it moved steady. Lucas kept his pace to match. They walked through the morning, and the burning air got no easier to breathe. Lucas kept his face wrapped. His lungs hurt. Every breath felt like swallowing fire. By midday, the ruins became real. Not just shapes in the distance. Actual buildings. Walls 40 meters high with no windows. Doors that were just empty holes. Metal that had turned rust brown or black from age. The whole thing was like a graveyard for a civilization that had forgotten how to die properly. Lucas climbed through one of the door holes. Inside was cool, darker. The air inside was less burning, which was strange. He pulled out the camera and recorded. The atmosphere inside structures is different, he said, speaking careful to the lens. Less reactive. This is important. The poison is not everywhere. It concentrates in open air. Humans can survive in enclosed spaces. That changes everything. He moved deeper into the building. Kev was too big to follow inside, so the creature waited at the entrance. Lucas found stairs going down. He went down. The basement was half full of water. Not clean water. Water that was brown and smelled like rust and chemicals. But water. Liquid. The survival rules said don't drink unknown water. Lucas was not in a position to follow survival rules. He had 2 days of water left. 3 at most. There was equipment down here too. Old equipment. Machines with purpose, but their purposes were mystery. Lucas did not recognize any of it. The technology looked advanced but alien-made. Not human. Definitely not human. He climbed back up and found Kev waiting. The creature was sitting on its haunches, which made it much smaller but still enormous. Lucas pointed at the water. Kev got up and followed him down the stairs, careful with the injured leg. The creature drank from the brown water without hesitation. Kev's biology was different. Maybe the poison did not hurt the same way. Maybe Kev's stomach could break down things human stomachs could not. Lucas filled every container he had with the water. That was maybe 20 liters total. It would buy time. Over the next 3 days, Lucas and Kev made the ruins their home. There were 6 buildings intact enough for shelter. Lucas found weapons in one of them. Long rods of metal with edges that were still sharp. Tools or actual weapons. He did not know. He took them anyway. More important was the food. In the basement of the 3rd building, Lucas found growing beds. Actual agriculture. Something was living in them. Small creatures with translucent skin that glowed faint in the darkness. They were not what humans should eat normally. But Lucas was not normal anymore. He roasted them on a fire made from old wood and metal he burned carefully. They tasted like wet sticks and salt. Better than poison air and death. Lucas recorded everything. The water source. The weapons. The creatures they could eat. The temperature inside the structures. The way sound moved through the metal. He was creating a record. Evidence that survival here was possible. Evidence that humanity could adapt. Kev got sick on day 4. The creature's breathing became wrong again. Not like poison burn. Different. Like something inside was breaking. Kev would stand for hours, just breathing heavy. His amber eyes less bright than before. The dark blood on his back leg had started to turn black and smell rotten. Lucas sat next to the creature and tried to think. The medical training said infection was the problem. Something in the poison burns had gone bad. Started to spread. Without antibiotics, without proper medical care, Kev would die. Lucas had one option. One bad option. He took a metal rod. Made it as hot as he could by putting it in a fire. Then he held Kev's leg still and burned the infection out of the wound. Kev roared. The sound echoed through all the ruins. The creature could have killed Lucas right then. Could have crushed him or torn him apart. Instead, Kev just stood there and let the human burn the poison out of him. After, Lucas cleaned the wound again with hot water. Kev stood perfectly still. The creature was shaking, but not from fear. From pain. From understanding that pain meant living. That night, Lucas slept close to Kev, The creature's body heat was intense, like a furnace. But it was a live heat, real, warm, better than being alone. On day 5, Kev was moving better. The infection was still there, but it was not spreading. The creature was fighting hard. Lucas had an idea. He set up the camera facing toward Kev. Then he started showing the creature the camera. He showed Kev how to stand in front of the lens, how to move so the recording was clear. It was stupid, probably. The creature did not understand what the camera was for, but Kev learned. By day 6, when Lucas recorded his vlog, Kev was positioned in the frame. The camera showed them together, human and beast. The council had sent one human to die on a dead planet. The human had not died. Instead, he had found a partner. Lucas looked at the camera. His face was dirty. His shoulder was still bruised. His clothes were torn. His eyes had seen things the Academy never taught him about. Day 6, he said. Survival is not about being strong. It is about being smart. It is about finding help where you do not expect it. The Council thinks humans are weak. The Council is wrong. I have proof. He turned the camera so Kev's face filled the frame. The creature's amber eyes looked directly at the lens, looked directly at the galaxy watching. Kev was alive because Lucas refused to see him as a monster. Lucas was alive because Kev refused to see him as food. Together, they were something the Galactic Council had never counted on. They were a team. The ship came down fast on day 30-4. Lucas heard it first. A roaring sound that cut through the dead air of Kurth 7. He and Kev were in their main shelter, one of the largest ruins. They had made it into something livable. Walls patched with sealed metal. Water collection system running off the acid rain. Growing beds full of the glowing creatures that had become their main food. Lucas grabbed the camera and climbed to the highest point in the structure. Kev followed, moving easy now. The creature's infected leg had healed. Not perfect, but functional. More important, Kev had gained weight. The dark scales were brighter. The amber eyes were sharp again. The ship was military design. Human military. Colonial authority. Lucas recognized the markings from the Academy. His people had sent a ship. His people wanted him back. The landing was rough. Not catastrophic, but rough. Dust rose up in clouds. The ship sat down maybe a kilometer away from the ruins. Lucas could see the ramp opening. Figures moving down. Humans in environmental suits. Maybe 6 of them, then other figures. Not human. Tall, thin beings with skin that shimmered like oil on water. Rex aliens. Representatives of the Galactic Council. The beings who had sent him here to die. Lucas brought the camera down to his chest. Recorded. They came looking for a body. Let us see what they found instead. A speaker crackled. A woman's voice, clear and steady. Colonial Cadet Lucas Owen. This is Commander Sophia Reeves of the Exploration Authority. We received your vlog transmissions. We have come to retrieve you. Please respond. Lucas climbed down. He grabbed his water container and his most dangerous weapon, one of the metal rods he had sharpened. He left the camera hidden in the shelter. If things went bad, the camera needed to survive. Evidence was more important than anything. Kev followed without question. The creature had learned to trust Lucas completely. That was a problem now. If the council decided Kev was dangerous, they would kill him. Lucas would have to stop that. He walked out of the ruins. The group from the ship saw him and stopped moving. The commander, Sophia Reeves, was tall and carried herself like a soldier. Her suit was better than the Academy gear. Newer. Stronger. Behind her were 5 other humans and 4 of the Rex beings. Council representatives. The aliens looked at Lucas and Kev with obvious shock. Owen, Commander Reeves said, are you injured? No, Commander. I am operational. Is that creature with you dangerous? No, Commander. That is Kev. He's not dangerous. He is essential to my survival. Without him, I would be dead. The Vrex aliens moved closer to examine Kev. The creature did not attack, did not even tense, but his eyes tracked every movement. He was alert, ready. If the aliens made one move toward Lucas, Kev would act. One of the Vrex spoke. Its voice sounded like wind moving through broken glass. The translation device built into Lucas's suit converted the sounds to words. The human has domesticated the local predator. This is unexpected. The creature shows no signs of immediate aggression. Another Vrex moved forward with a scanner. It was pointing some kind of device at Kev. The creature did not like that. His scales flared. His breathing became heavy. Lucas put his hand on Kev's neck. The touch calmed the creature. Barely. Do not take any samples, Lucas said. Kev is not a specimen. Kev is a citizen. Commander Reeves looked shocked. Owen, that is a wild animal. Negative, Commander. Kev demonstrates tool use, demonstrates communication, demonstrates emotional bonds, demonstrates understanding of abstract concepts. Kev is sapient. The Vrex aliens began talking to each other in their own language. The translation was too fast, too distorted. But Lucas caught fragments. Words like unexpected and revised assessment and humanity stronger than calculated. One of the Vrex, older than the others, made a gesture to its companions. Then it stepped forward and looked directly at Lucas. You have survived on this world for 34 days. You have formed alliance with native creature. You have created sustainable food source. You have repurposed ancient technology. The Council underestimated human adaptation capacity. This is now clear. Yes, Lucas said. The Council was wrong about humanity. We are not weak. We do not give up. We do not see only enemies. We see problems and we solve them. Kev made a low sound. Agreement. Understanding. Commander Reeves was studying Lucas closely. Something was changing in her expression. Respect, maybe. Or a calculation. Owen, your vlog transmissions have been broadcast across the entire galactic network. You are famous. Your story has changed how many species view humanity. The Council wants to bring you back. Wants to study your experience. Wants to understand how you survived. I survived because I did not accept that survival was impossible, Lucas said. I survived because I found help. Because I worked with what was available instead of wishing for what was not. Because I refused to give up. Those are human strengths. The Council can study that for free. What about the creature? One of the other Vrex asked. The local predator cannot return to civilization. It would be dangerous. Kev is not dangerous, Lucas said. Kev is intelligent. Kev will survive fine here on his own world. Then you will return with us? Commander Reeves asked. Lucas felt Kev tense. The creature understood the question, even without translation. Lucas was deciding whether to leave, whether to abandon the partnership they had built. Lucas looked at Kev. The creature's amber eyes looked back at him. No fear, no anger. Just acceptance of whatever choice Lucas made. I will return, Lucas said. But Kev comes with me. Non-negotiable. Kev has demonstrated sapience. Kev has demonstrated moral capacity. Kev deserves the same legal protections as any other conscious being. The Vrex aliens made sounds that might have been laughter or anger. The translator could not decide. The Council will not agree to this, the eldest Vrex said. Then I will not go, Lucas said. And I will continue recording vlogs about how the Council wanted to study an intelligent being like a laboratory animal. I will tell the galaxy that the Council proves humans are the ones with more honor, more compassion, more right to represent galactic civilization. Silence. Long silence. Commander Reeves smiled. Just a small smile, but real. "He is bluffing," she said to the Vrex. "But he is good at it. And he is right. The Council has already received backlash for sending a teenager to a death world. Imagine if the galaxy finds out they wanted to treat his alien friend like a specimen." The eldest Vrex made another sound. A clicking, chirping thing that the translator rendered as acceptable. "The creature may accompany the human to the station. It will be granted provisional sapient status pending evaluation." Lucas felt relief move through his body. Not safety. Not yet. But possibility. A chance. "Thank you," Lucas said. Thought the Vrex looked at him with something like curiosity. "Why do you thank us? We prevented you from dying on our world. We have merely acknowledged what humans seem to understand naturally. Partnership is stronger than dominance." That is an interesting philosophy for a species so young. Lucas looked at Kev. The creature had no expression. But he was here. He was going forward. Together. "Come on," Commander Reeves said. "Let us get you both on the ship." The galactic station was massive. So big that Lucas could not see from one end to the other. Steel and light. Thousands of beings moving through corridors. The gravity was artificial, but wrong somehow. Every step felt heavy. Every breath felt recycled. Kev hated it immediately. The creature pressed against the walls as they walked. His scales flared up and down. His amber eyes were tracking every movement, every potential threat. The other beings on the station stared at them. News traveled fast. The human who survived the impossible had arrived. With an alien, the media had cameras ready, pictures, questions. Everyone wanted a piece of the story. Everyone wanted to talk to Lucas about his survival, about his vlog broadcasts that had apparently made him famous across the entire galaxy. "You are a hero," a female reporter said, pushing a microphone toward him. "Humans are celebrating you. They are saying your survival proves that humanity is strong, that we are worthy of respect." What do you say to that? Lucas wanted to say something real. Wanted to explain that survival was not about being strong. It was about being smart. Being willing to adapt. Being willing to see someone as a partner instead of a threat. But Kev was getting more agitated. The creature was pressing harder against the wall. His breathing was heavy, panicked. The closed space was overwhelming him. "No more questions," Lucas said. "Kev needs space, now." Commander Reeves had followed them from the landing platform. She seemed to understand without words. She moved the reporters back and cleared a path. But the damage was already done. Kev was scared, trapped, fighting the urge to attack something. They got him to a section of the station that was less crowded. A viewing window that looked out into empty space. Kev stood there, staring, his body language slowly relaxing. The creature was calming down, but barely. "He will not survive here," Lucas said to Sophia Reeves. "He is used to open spaces, used to freedom. The station is a cage." "I know," Reeves said. "The Council is already debating it. Some want to send him to a research facility on a colony world. Somewhere more controlled. Somewhere they can study him. He is not a test subject. I know that. But the Council does not see it that way yet. Your vlogs have changed how humanity sees the galaxy. But the other species are not convinced. They want proof that the creature is truly intelligent. Evidence." Lucas watched Kev stare out into the void of space. The creature's amber eyes reflected the starlight. For the first time, Lucas realized that Kev was probably as scared as Lucas was. Both of them were displaced. Both of them had been ripped away from the world they understood. over the next 2 weeks, things got worse. Military leaders wanted to recruit Lucas. They saw him as a symbol of human capability, someone who could lead warriors, someone who had faced impossible odds and won. They did not care that Lucas had only survived by making peace, not by fighting. Corporate representatives wanted different things. They wanted access to Karath 7. They wanted to mine it, exploit it, turn the dead world into a profit center. They offered Lucas money, position, power. Political groups wanted to use his image, his story, his face on propaganda that said, humanity is destined for greatness. As if surviving one planet meant humanity was ready to dominate the galaxy. Lucas rejected all of it. But the more he rejected, the more they pushed. Kev was deteriorating. The creature was losing weight. His scales were becoming dull. He spent most of his time staring out windows or lying in the corner of his assigned quarters. The medication they gave him was making him worse, not better. His system could not process the alien drugs properly. Lucas recorded a vlog that changed everything. He did not record it in the official studio they had set up for him. He recorded it in secret, using an old camera. He set it up pointing at himself and Kev together. The Galactic Council is destroying what matters, Lucas said, speaking directly and hard. Kev is dying. Not from poison, not from starvation, from being treated like he is not real, from being locked in buildings and examined and questioned and treated like an animal in a zoo. The council sent me to a death world. I survived because I refused to give up. I survived because I found friendship. Now the council wants to use my survival as proof that humans are conquerors. We are not. We are something else. We are beings that can see value in something different, that can choose connection over dominance. If the council kills Kev trying to study him, then the council proves that humanity was right to survive. Because every other species in this galaxy is worse than we are. He sent the vlog out unsecured. He did not go through official channels. He just broadcast it across the entire network. The response was immediate. Not from the council. From civilians. From regular beings across dozens of worlds and species groups. The messages flooded in. People angry at the council. People saying that Lucas was right. People saying that Kev deserved freedom. That intelligent beings should not be caged. The council called an emergency meeting. Lucas was there. Kev was not. They had moved the creature to a medical facility, claiming he was in critical condition. You have violated every protocol, one of the council members said. You have broadcast private information. You have created unrest. I told the truth, Lucas said. My vlog from Karath 7 was supposed to show that humans could survive. You turned it into propaganda. You are killing Kev. You are proving that you care more about control than about life. The creature is receiving medical care, another council member said. The best possible care. The creature is dying, Lucas said. Because Kev is not meant for this environment. Not meant for stations and research facilities and study. Kev is meant for Karath 7. Kev is meant for open space and freedom. If we release the creature, it will return to a dead world. Karath 7 is not dead. We were alive there. Kev and I were alive there. We had partnership. We had purpose. You are killing him because he does not fit into your system. Commander Reeves stood up. I move that we allow the creature to return to Karath 7, or alternatively, to a designated space where it can choose its own environment. Seconded, another council member said. The vote was not unanimous. But it was clear. The public pressure was too much. The council could not afford to look like they were killing an intelligent being out of spite. They brought Kev to Lucas 2 hours later. The creature was weak, very weak, but alive, conscious. Lucas sat down next to the creature and put his hand on Kev's neck. The creature's amber eyes focused on him. "We are going home," Lucas said. "Car 7, we are going back." Kev made a sound. Not strong, but real. Acknowledgement. Hope. Lucas recorded one final vlog. This time with permission. With the council watching. "Survival is not just about living," he said. "It is about living in a way that means something." On Kurith 7, Kev and I learned that. We lived as partners. We lived as equals. We chose each other. The council wanted to turn that into a story about human strength. But they were missing the point. The story is about humanity choosing to be better. Choosing to see someone different and saying, "You matter." That is what makes us strong. Not weapons. Not domination. Choice. Compassion. Connection. He looked at Kev. The creature looked back at him. "We are going home," Lucas said again. Together. The dropship descended through the gray-purple sky of Kurith 7. Lucas stood at the window and watched the ruins come into view. They looked the same, but different. Same crumbling metal. Same broken structures. But now they meant something. Now they were home. Kev was stronger. The creature's scales had regained their color during the journey back. The dark blue was bright again. The amber eyes were sharp. But more important, Kev was relaxed. The constant tension from being on the station was gone. The creature was going back to what he understood. The ship landed in the same place the first drop pod had crashed. The ramp opened. The air smelled like burning, like poison, like reality. Lucas walked down first. Kev followed. The crew on the ship watched them go. There were 6 other humans with them. Scientists, engineers, people who had volunteered to stay on Kurith 7, not because the council had ordered them, because they wanted to, because they believed what Lucas had said about partnership and connection and choosing something different. Commander Sophia Reeves was on the team. She had requested the assignment herself. The council had fought her on it, but her rank was high enough that she had pushed through. She was the only member of the military authority returning to the dead world. The others were Dr. Marcus White, who studied alien biology, Jennifer Mills, who was an engineer, David Chan, who had experience building sustainable communities, Alex Torres, who was a doctor, and 2 others, Patrick and Yuki, who wanted to contribute but were still figuring out what that would mean. "Well," Sophia said, looking out at the ruins, "this is home now." Over the next 3 weeks, they began building. Not structures that the ancient civilization had made. Not weapons or tools of war. They built greenhouses, water collection systems, power generators that used the planet's thermal vents deep underground. They expanded the growing beds. They created irrigation systems. Kev helped. The creature could move heavy things, could access spaces that humans could not fit through, could sense danger in ways that human senses could not detect. The team learned to work with Kev as an equal partner, not as a beast, not as labor, as a member of the community with value and purpose. Other creatures began to emerge. Not aggressive, just curious, watching the new community from distance. Some of them were species that Lucas had not recorded yet. Species that were intelligent but not aggressive. Species that seemed to understand that the humans in Kev were not invaders. Lucas recorded vlogs every evening. Documentation of the new settlement, but different from before. These vlogs were not proving survival. They were documenting creation. The building of something new. By week 5, they had a functioning settlement. Not pretty, not comfortable in the way that the Galactic Station was comfortable, but functional. More important, it was free. One evening, Lucas brought Kev to the cliff overlooking the settlement. The camera was set up on a tripod. The sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of orange and red and purple. Lucas looked directly at the camera. Behind him, Kev stood quiet and strong. Day 72, Lucas said. I came to Karath 7 to prove that humans could survive something impossible. I did survive. But survival was not the point. The point was this. The point was choosing to build something instead of choosing to conquer something. The Galactic Council sends species to test themselves, to prove dominance, to show strength through conflict. But humanity proved something different. Humanity proved that we can see someone that is completely alien, someone that could kill us, someone that we know nothing about. And we can choose to call that someone friend. We can choose to build with them. We can choose partnership over domination. He paused, looked at Kev. The council thought they were testing human survival. But the real test was always about choice. What do we choose to be? Conquerors or partners? Warriors or builders? The galaxy will decide what humanity means. But here, on Karath 7, we have already decided. We are partners. We are builders. We are choosing to be something better. Kev made a sound. A long, deep call that echoed across the dead world. But it was not a call of aggression. It was a call of communication. A reaching out. Lucas watched as creatures emerged from the ruins in the canyons. Hundreds of them. Maybe thousands. All responding to Kev's call. All gathering around the settlement. Not attacking. Just coming. Observing. Being present. Jennifer Mills came out of the nearest shelter. She looked up and saw the creatures. Her hand went to her weapon, then stopped. She understood. The creatures were not threats. They were simply joining the community. Over the next hour, the humans learned that Kev was not alone. Kev had family, had connections to the creature society on Karath 7, had been calling them to meet the humans. To see what this partnership meant. By dawn, there were creatures living in the ruins alongside the humans. Not inside the human settlements, but close, sharing the world. Building something together through proximity and mutual understanding. Sophia stood next to Lucas the next morning. The council will want to know what this means, she said. Two species, living together. No conflict. It means we chose something different, Lucas said. That is all it means. That is everything it means. Over the following months, the settlement grew. More humans arrived. Volunteers this time, not prisoners or subjects of council decisions. They brought equipment. They brought knowledge. They brought the choice to be part of something that mattered. Kev's species learned to work with the humans. They provided protection. They provided knowledge of the planet that the humans could not have accessed alone. They provided friendship. Real friendship. Not forced cooperation. Not dominance. Just the choice to be together. Lucas continued recording vlogs. But now the camera was no longer proof of survival. It was documentation of something new. A new kind of civilization. One that did not follow galactic rules. One that did not care about dominance or control. One that simply chose partnership. In the final vlog, recorded a full year after the first moment on Card 7, Lucas stood with Kev at the same cliff. Around them, the settlement had grown. Structures that combined human and alien building styles. Gardens that grew both human and alien crops. A community that chose to be better. I came here to prove that humans were strong, Lucas said to the camera. I proved it. But I also proved something else. Strength is not about survival alone. Strength is about knowing when to fight and when to choose peace. Strength is about seeing something different and saying yes. Strength is about building instead of destroying. Kev made the same call. Dozens of other creatures answered. The sound filled the dead world and made it alive. The council was wrong about humanity, Lucas said, but not in the way they thought. We are not conquerors. We are not warriors. We are builders. We choose partnership. We choose connection. We choose to see the worth in something different and say that worth matters. That is what humanity is. That is what we became on a dead world. We became something that cares. Something that chooses to make the galaxy better instead of just surviving in it. He reached over and put his hand on Kev's neck. The creature's scales were warm, alive, real. This is not the end of my vlog, Lucas said. This is just the beginning, because we are building something new here. Something the galaxy has never seen before. 2 species. 1 choice. 1 world. And it is working. It is beautiful. And everyone should know that it is possible. The camera stopped recording, but Lucas and Kev remained standing on the cliff, looking out at the world they had chosen to build. The dead world had become alive. Not through conquest or dominance or strength of arms, but through choice. Through compassion. Through the simple understanding that different beings could build something better together than either could build alone. That was humanity's greatest survival achievement. Not the survival itself, but what they chose to do with that survival. That was the real victory.